Alright folks, today I'll be telling you guys the top tips to become a better soldier in Post Scriptum. Since the past few months, the number of Post Scriptum players have somewhat grown, and we are seeing a good bunch of Bambis running around and getting themselves killed by the veteran soldiers in Post Scriptum. What this does is that it hugely disrupts the balancing in the game when most of the new players are on one side of the battle. We need to fix that. I'll keep this video as short and informative as I can, so here we go. First off, we have basic controls. Like every other shooter, the controls in Post Scriptum are also similar. Left click to shoot, right click to aim down sights, Q and E to lean and peek. V is for local voice channel, B is for squad voice channel, etc. But I'm not going to talk about those because you can easily find those in controls. What I intend to tell you here is that you need to rebind the keys to whatever keys you are used to in other games. Trust me, it helps. Make sure you have the aim down sight set to your preferable mode, either toggle or hold, whatever works for you best. One pro tip I would like to share here is set your mouse sensitivity to 0.50. Now this always worked for me and has worked for some of my friends. The reason for setting this to a lower value is that in Post Scriptum, you mostly have to make those long range shots on tiny pixel of enemies, and here accuracy matters, and not your speed. I believe it's the sweet spot, but you can set it to whatever you are comfortable with. Now let's go to our next tip, graphics and general settings. Having the game at ultra and getting below 50 FPS is not great for firefights. Post Scriptum is a very demanding game when it comes to performance. Play around with your graphics settings and find the best settings to get at least 60 FPS. I would recommend you to set your shadows to medium or if needed to low, and to keep super sampling completely off. If you are still getting below 60 FPS, then gradually lower other settings to get the best performance. One more thing I would like to add here is to set your field of view to 90 or 100. It will help you to get a wider view angle on things. Like every other FPS game out there. Set it to something you're comfortable with. Now that we have the settings out of the way, here comes our next tip. Comms. Communications is very important in Post Scriptum, and like any other tactical shooter out there, make sure you have a working mic to talk to your squad mates. It doesn't matter if you're bad in English, just try to talk. The community in Post Scriptum is very mature and they will help you out. And trust me, they will not make fun of you. So don't be afraid to talk to your squad mates. Try to communicate whatever you see in the battlefield about where the enemy is coming from, or if you spot a MSB or a tank, tell that to your team. Use your compass by pressing Y key on your keyboard to get the general direction and convey that to your squad. And also listen to your squad mates. Listen to their callouts on the same. I see so many people complaining that they can't see the enemy. Bruh, trust me, you need to listen to your squad. It will help you spot those tiny pixels of enemies in the battlefield. Next up, we have observation. Observation is also very important in Post Scriptum. This is not Fortnite or Call of Duty where you will see punk enemies jumping around all over the map for you to shoot at. No, you need to have a very good sense of your surrounding to do this. People who complain, oh, we can't see the enemy in Post Scriptum. I have something for you guys here. Stop running all the time. Try to take a knee and aim down your sights and just observe. While aiming down the sights, try to hold the shift key to zoom in a little bit. If you run all the time, then you won't be able to see anything properly. Once you know you are near the enemy positions, try not to run so much and hide in a bush or take cover behind something and try to observe. Always remember that the Axis army runs with their guns in one hand while the Allies run with their guns in both hands, just like the Rising Storm games. This will help you identify your enemy. If this doesn't help you, then try to generally look or aim at them. If a name tag or a blue or green dot shows up on their head, then they are friendlies. If not, then just fire a fry at them. Next we have tactical movement. Now this is not a very detailed tactical movement tip. I'll make an entire video on that later. This is just the basic things I want to tell you to survive in PS more. When spotted by the enemy, never ever peek through the same window or cover, because they will have their sights on that area and will headshot you as soon as you peek. Try to be unpredictable. Try to relocate to another window or try to go around a wall or building instead of peeking through the same corner you were spotted at. This will confuse the enemy. Friendly fire is very common in Post Scriptum. When clearing out a building or when you are moving towards a friendly from their 6, try to use the local chat to tell them that you are moving towards them. This will make them feel safe and they won't be jumped by you. When pushing an enemy, never push straight up. Try to flank. To those who are new to the term, it means trying to move around the enemy and to catch them from the back or sides where they have no cover. Now we move to our next tip. Equipment. Every soldier is equipped with various equipments depending on their roles. The basic equipment that everyone is provided with are a knife, a canteen, frag grenades, smoke grenades, bandages, morphine, and a bayonet if your weapon allows it. Not every soldier is equipped with a sidearm, so whenever you are in close combat situation and you run out of ammo, try switching to your knife. It's faster than reloading. Some new players ignore the canteen that they have. Trust me bro, it's a lifesaver. Whenever you are trying to push to an enemy position, drink from your canteen. It gives a temporary boost to your stamina and it will reduce the weapon sway while you are aiming at the enemy. Frag grenades can be used to clear out enemies behind cover, and smoke grenades are useful when you are pushing an objective and while you are retreating from one to conceal your movement from the enemy. Make sure to use them whenever you can. Whenever you are wounded and your screen goes slightly red in color, try equipping your bandages and press and hold right click to stop your bleeding. You can also use the bandages to patch others by moving close to them and holding the left click. Morphine can only be used on other soldiers. If you see a friendly on the ground with a name tag in white color, then you can move close to them and use your morphine on them with left click to revive them. Fix your bayonet by pressing the default key C if your weapon allows attaching a bayonet. Use your melee key to drive it through the enemy during close encounters. Bayonet is very helpful if you have a bolt action rifle equipped. Next up, we have spawn points. Unlike the Battlefield games, in Post Scriptum you cannot spawn on your squad leader. You can only use spawn points to spawn in. There are 4 different types of spawn points in Post Scriptum. A. Fob spawn, which is generally built by the logistics squad where everyone can spawn at. B. MSP spawn, which is actually a vehicle where everyone can spawn at. C. Rally point spawn, where only you and your squad mates can spawn at, and it has a timer which has to be reset every few minutes by either the radio man or the squad leader. D. Glider spawn. It's basically a glider which is available in only a few select maps like the Saint Mère-Église or Malim, where everyone can spawn at. The previous tip brings us to our next tip, which is tickets and casualty. In Post Scriptum, we have a set number of tickets and a timer for each team. If either of the team runs out on the tickets or time, then they lose. So it is very important for you to decide if you need to give up after you are wounded or wait for the medic to revive you. Generally, if you are in an active combat area, there will be medics nearby. Try using your local voice channel to call them to help you. Also, unlike Hell Let Loose, every single soldier is equipped with a morphine. So even if it is a squad mate or a teammate near you, they can also revive you. So you can also call on them to help you out. Some people might argue, but I really like this feature in Post Scriptum because it makes things less frustrating. Once you are revived, equip your bandage and hold right click to stop the bleeding. But remember, you will need a medic to fully restore your health. And in case if you get wounded at some distant spot where no one is around, then you can just give up and respawn. No one will hate you on that. Just try to stay alive more next time. The next tip is something I'll make a separate video on, just like I will for each individual role, but I thought it is important to include this one because it is one of the most important roles in a squad, and I have seen people not communicating and complying to orders while they are using this role. The radio man. As the radio man, you are equipped with a radio, and it is one of the most important equipment for your squad. Your squad leader will have to be near you to put down a rally point, and it is your job to follow the squad leader whenever he asks you to, and it is your job to refresh the rally point whenever you have to before the timer on the rally point runs out, by pressing and holding T on your keyboard and clicking on the radio icon on screen. Now we have the last but not the least tip for you guys, which is listen to your surroundings. Like every other shooter game out there, it is important for you to listen to your surroundings to predict an enemy's location in Post Scriptum. You can try to listen to the nearby gunfire to know if it's a friendly firearm being fired or if it's an enemy firing their gun. This will help you properly relocate yourself or push on the enemy. Every single firearm has a distinctive sound to it in Post Scriptum. You just need to familiarize yourself with these sounds, which will take you a couple of hours or a few days of playing Post Scriptum. Similarly, every vehicle in Post Scriptum has a distinctive engine sound to them. You can also listen to them and confirm if it's a friendly or not. Also listen to footsteps and rustling sounds in the bushes. If you do not see a friendly name tag when you aim towards it, then it's probably an enemy. Those were my 10 tips for beginners in Post Scriptum. I have kept it as precise as I could, and I'm sure I might have missed some of them. Please do comment those tips so that everyone can benefit from them. Rhino signing out.